Okay, yeah. Okay, so in the last sessions, no, we have seen the about the packages and how to build our user-defined package and all by using functions and all, right? Yeah. So till there we have finished. Okay. Now let us go with the file operations present in Python. Okay. So the files might be of different types, like it might be a CSV file or text file or log file, anything, right? So for reading CSV files and Excel files and all, now we use pandas package for it, right? So what if you have a text file? How to read the text file and how to bring the data, or how to write some data into a text file and all. Okay, we'll check those, like how the file operations are being done in Python. We'll look into those operations today. Okay, for that, I've opened up Spider. And yeah, so your homework for today is, I guess you have seen, you have gone through three options present in Spider, right? Go for the other three options and check what are the functionalities available in the run, in the debug, like explore that IDE and finish it off. Okay, yeah. So coming to the Python files. See, so what is a file? So firstly, we need to understand like what is a file and all. So file is a named location on disk to store related information, right? So you store something like, yeah, sorry, it might be a text file, or you write something into the text file and you store it with some name, right? Like if you're going for the updates, you name the file as updates.txt. So that means it's a named location on a disk, so your hard disk. So it is occupying some space, right? So that's why file is a named location on disk to store related information. So whatever the information, related information at that particular time you're storing it, now you store that and you give some name to that file and you save it somewhere in your disk, right? It is used to permanently store data in non-volatile memory. Yeah, it can be used for permanently storing, right? Yeah, that's what. So when you create a file, once you turn off the system, when you turn it on, so the file is still there. So that means it is stored in the non-volatile memory, right? Yeah, in Python, file operations takes place in the following order. One is opening a file, the other one is read or write, perform some operation, and the third one is closing the file. Okay, yeah. See, so Python has built-in function open. So first we'll come up with the steps. So like first opening a file, read or write from the file, and then close the file. So we'll see this flow, and then we'll see this flow and we'll write code in Python. Okay, for file opening, Python has built-in function called open directly. You just use this keyword open, I mean the method open, and you give the file name, and then you give some mode to it. I'll tell you what is mode and all by explaining it in your practical way. So see, this is my spider. So first we'll take a txt file. Like I'll store this txt file in my training May 2022 group. I'll save it. Yeah, I'll go here and simply I'll give as sample.txt. Okay, in this file we'll write something here. So the classes for data science is held on 10th June 2022 by Hyse. So this is a line present in the txt file. So now we have created a txt file, and I want this data, this txt file's data, whatever the textual part is there, I need the data to be come up in my Python environment. Like to get, I need to get this text file and the text data into my Python environment. For that, I'll take a variable f something. You can take any variable you want. I'll open. By using the open function, I'll use open followed by my file name. So file name is sample.txt. Yeah. So I'll just open it. So we'll see what happens. Okay, f is equals to open. We have opened up the file in the variable explorer. If you see it, see text input output wrapper. So the type, the type what the variable f has got the type text input output wrapper. That means you can read the data from the file, or you can write something into the file directly. Okay, let us see like how to read the textual part present in that file. Okay, if I use f.read, let me see. See, if I have used f.read, so I got directly the classes for data science is held on 10 June 2022 by Hyse. See what are the textual data is there. So I'll copy this, the same text multiple times. And then, okay, I'll reopen it again. See, so whatever the data present in the file, now we are making sure that we are getting that into this Python environment. And after storing that inside a variable, whatever the operations you want to do on that particular text data, you can do it. Okay, or if you want to extract some part of the data from the text file, you can do it. Okay, so after every time when you open up the file now, so it gets the resources will be used up, right? So whenever you open something, the software, the Anaconda Navigator or something, in the voice now what happens is it runs in the background, everything runs in the background, right? That means you need to close it once you are done with the operations and all, right? So once you open up the Jupyter notebook, you close the Anaconda Navigator, right? There is no use of Anaconda Navigator now, right? In the same way, if you open the file, once you read the text part of from the file, you need to close it. Okay, you need to use definitely f.close. If not, the resources will be wasted. In the background, the file will be opened only in the OS. So you need to close the file whenever you are opening it. So now f.read, and I'll store this f.read inside a variable, text data. Okay, and then I'll close my file. See, in the text data, the type is string, and it's the size of the string is 296 in length. And if I open it, I got the entire textual part, whatever present in my sample.txt file. Are we good, guys? Like, yeah, so you know how to read a file, right? How to read a file, how to extract data from the file, and how to close a file. So the three simple steps. The three simple steps you need to follow every time. See, file, yeah, here. So open a file, read or write. So we are working on read. We'll get into the write function, but not now. So consider the read function and then close the file. Okay. Okay. So in order to read or write now, you give different modes to that file. Okay. After the file name, whenever you give the file name, after that file name now, you immediately give a mode to that file. So whether you want to read the file or write the file, write into the file or something. So I just want to read the file. So for that now, the mode is R. If you're not keeping the R mode, now by default, it will consider the file is in read mode. Remember, so previously we haven't kept the R next to the file name. So it by default, it has chosen that the file is in the read mode. So if you want to specify perfectly that the file which I'm choosing is in the read mode, you can use R. R is nothing but the read mode. Okay, so it's a default one. So if you are not going to use R, it just reads the file. That means you can't change anything inside the file. You can't update the information, or you can't add any extra lines into the file, right? So for that, so we use R mode. Okay, here, see some file modes. Read. So we have seen the read mode and the write mode. See, okay, so the write. So let's just see. So if I use W, okay, if I use f.write, like hi, the trainer for Python. I just want to add something. Okay, f is equals to open sample.txt. Same. I have used W mode now, and I have used f.write and f.close. So let us see what happens. Okay, the code has executed perfectly without any error. And as I go to my sample.txt, see, previously the text was replaced by some other text. The text, which you have written in this write mode, the entire text is replaced with this mode, W mode. That means if you use W mode, so whatever the text is present previously in the file, it gets removed completely, and whatever the text you want to feed it into the file by using the write mode will be fed up into that particular file. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so that's how you can write something into a file. If you don't want to write, if you want to just read, you can use read mode to read something from the file and use the data for further operations or something. Okay, so what if I don't want to overwrite every time? See, if I'm trying, I'll remove this. So if I run the code again, see, it changes. So it is overwriting the data again and again. So I don't want to overwrite the data. I just want to append some lines to the data. That means I want to add the lines. So I want to make sure the previous text remains there and new text is added to my file. So for that, now the mode for that is append. A is the A is called the append mode, where when you write something into the file, it gets appended into that file. That means it gets added up to the file while making sure that the previous text is remain there only. Okay. Trainer for Python, TS, something like that. So let us see. So the previous text is hi, I'm a trainer, and if I run this, see, hi, I'm a trainer for Python, comma TS. See, so the lines are getting added up now. So previously the lines are getting overwritten, but now the lines are getting added up. Okay, what if you want to like use this in a separate line? So use /n. Okay. So let us run the code and check. See, so you can like write the lines into a different line by using /n as well. Okay. Okay. See, f dot close is very much necessary, because if you forget to close the file now, so next time if you are using that file now, the information will not be updated, I guess. So the information will not be updated. So definitely you need to close the file, and the resources will be wasted in the background. That means some space will be occupied. So that's why you need to close the file once the operations are done properly. But sometimes we always forget to close the file and all, right? Sometimes it's a natural habit. Sometimes we often forget like how to for closing the file and all. So in order to close the file, we have a different syntax. We have a different syntax that can be done within a single line actually. So in order to open up a file and close the line within a single line, we use the keyword called with, and we open, and yeah, sample.txt. So if you want to read, you as f. Okay, so I'll use data equal to f dot read. We'll use read. Okay, I'll remove these 3 lines. So remember, the file operations what you have done so far are opening the file, writing the file, and closing the file. So it's very, I mean, if I forgot every time like to close the file and all, no, the resources will be used up, right? So now I have a single line of command. With this single line of command, it opens up the file and it closes the file as well simultaneously once the operations are done in this logical block. So the syntax for it is, we use the keyword with, and then followed by open, and followed by the file name, and followed by the mode, and as alias name, the entire thing as f, and I just stored this entire thing into f. Data is equals to f dot read. Okay, I'll execute this. It's the same thing what we have done previously, but yeah, so no need to close the file now. So it automatically closes up. See, in the data, we have the lines, the text part, whatever present in the sample.txt file. We got the entire data into the variable data, and it is stored. See, the data name with the type string, and the size also we have got, and the value for it. Now you can use this data. So to any like if you want to convert this data into uppercase, see, like it's up to you. What are the operations you want to do on the data part, you can do it now. So like you brought the entire data into the Python environment, and now you can perform some operations on the data part, and you can use it efficiently. Okay, not only text files. See, I'll open up the log files. Okay, log files are something where you can track the entire activities of an application or something. Okay, last time like previously I've already told you this.
Sir, once repeat, sir.
Okay, so previously I already have told you. So not only the text files here, we might be having log files as well, log files, log files. Okay, hashtag log files. So log files are used for tracking purposes. Tracking the activities. That means, see, if you're working in a bank, so I'm a bank employee, I'm the cashier for that bank. So I have got one login ID for my application, Axis Bank, for example. For the Axis Bank, I have a login ID. So if I log into the system, automatically it tracks my activity. So being a cashier, what are the jobs I'm doing? It tracks the activity. For example, if someone has come for deposit at a particular time, So the cashier has done the deposit into their account at a particular time. So it gets stored in a log file. So for monitoring purposes. Okay. So not only the text files or something, we have log files are also available in the in today's world. Like data is stored in the log files as well for tracking purposes. See, so the log files extension is .log. Okay. So sample.log, I'm going to save it. Okay. So I'll use the date 2022 19. So we'll use the month followed by 19. And yeah, so admin has logged in into the logged in. Admin has logged in and updated users data in the same way. So we'll write the time as well. So time also will be there because at what time the admin has done the work, they need to understand for tracking purposes. Why people do tracking in the sense? Suppose think like this. So if in a bank, suppose some hacker has come and he wants to hack the bank. So how he is going to hack the bank? Definitely by getting the login ID of the employee only he is able to hack the bank, right? Without that he can't hack it, right? So once he gets that login credentials and all, if for example at a particular time the user is doing some operations beyond his rules, then at that time the log files, it stores the data and it triggers some alert. So this particular user is doing some operations apart from his job role, so immediately triggers the alert to the bank, and immediately bank will take measures what happened, and immediately they can block that particular account. That's how the tracking is done. Okay. For example, at 19:35:15, the admin has logged in and updated the user's data. In the same way, the other role cashier has logged in and deposited some amount. So this is the log file. In the log file clearly we have this tracking available. See, so not only for text files and all, for log files also, simply you can use this method to get the data present in the log file. See, the data, we got it. Now what we'll do is, so we have time and we have the text part. We'll try to extract the time and text part line by line, and we do some operations on it, and we perform like, we don't know, like whatever the operations are required at that particular time, we perform those operations and we execute the program. But remember, so whenever you're opening a file or something, use this syntax, not the previous syntax which I have shown you. For that now you always need to close the file and all. So so you write like the lines of code are increasing there, right? So here there is only 2 lines of code here. So within 2 lines of code now, you can automatically execute, and in that you can read the file and you can close the file as well directly. Okay, use this method. So now if you want to write something, f.write. Okay, f.write log file is used for tracking purposes. See, I have executed this, and if I go to the sample.log, see, so the data has been overwritten. The same thing is happening with this with also. So if you want to append something, simply write a admin has logged in. See, if I do this, see, admin has logged in. So the lines are added. So that means the file is updated now. The lines are added to the previous text, whatever the file we have. So the same operations are done by using this syntax also. You use this syntax only because people whoever uses Python, so they go with this syntax only worldwide. Okay. Yeah. And this is your homework, R+B binary format. Okay. Take an image. So now I've taken a text file and also a log file, right? You take an image, and in order to read that image now, so you can't read and write or something. So in order to get binary formatted data of that image, you need to use this R+B command. Okay, the mode R+B. Try to do it. T mode, that means default. You can use T or you can just leave it. That's okay. T in the sense reading a file. That's it. You just give it a try. T in the sense reading a file. That's it. Okay. Is it clear, guys? Still, do you have any doubts?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So do the homework for R plus B and T mode as well. Use T mode and check what's happening. It's same as R mode only. You use it. T mode is as a default. It will work. Okay. So closing a file will free up the resources that were tied with the file and is done by using Python close method. So remember this. So closing the file will free up the resources. That's what I told you. So you need to definitely close the file. If you're not closing the file, it will not free up the resources. That means a space is occupied for that particular file, and it always runs inside the server. Okay, we need to use Python close method. So after opening a file and doing our operations, we need to use closing a file. We need to close the file definitely. So no need of the syntax. Python 3 still we are using Python 3. No need of the syntax for no need of the syntax of 2.7. So are we good with the file operations, guys? We're good, right? Still, do you have any doubts? Hello.
No, sir.
Okay, so we'll look into the time delta function directly. That's okay. So still we have time, right? Before entering into advanced Python, directly we'll look into time delta, and yeah, so we'll close the basics of Python with that. Okay, so in order to import time delta, so this is the syntax, right? You might have come across this by checking out few examples. Okay, okay. So time delta. So what do you mean by this time delta? So it can be used to manipulate the dates actually. Okay, for date manipulations it is used.
Days and seconds, microseconds.
Anything, yeah. So dates, seconds, microseconds,
Yeah.
anything, right? For calculating differences in the dates also we use this, or for manipulating the dates also we use this time delta. So we'll look into a few examples actually. Like we'll calculate the future dates, like after 1 year what's happening or something by using time delta. So by using time delta, no, you can find the differences or you can manipulate the dates and all. That's the different. That's the definition for the time delta. So let us give us let us take the current date time. Okay. So in order to take the current date time, what is the syntax? Yeah. Now is equals to, I mean, that's a variable. So date time dot. What is the syntax, guys? What is the syntax? Date time dot now, right? So in order to get the current date
Day.
time from your system, now you see, now if I click on this, now automatically it's showing me the date time, right? Okay. Now I'll use time delta and we'll find exactly 1 year after this what is the date and all, like after 1 year. Okay, how to do it? Okay, so I'll use future date. I'll take a variable future date. I'll take the variable future date and I'll use now plus time delta. Directly can use the time delta this thing. So how many days you want to see? Like how many days? Like 365 days, right? So exactly 1 year is equals to 365 days. Okay. Let us check this. See, what is the future date? So 2023. That's changed. Okay, I'll print out the print today's date. Now is my today's date and future date. I'll copy this. Yeah, I'll paste it here. Yeah. See, today's date is 22/6/19, exactly 1941/32, and 2023/6/19. Like if you want to change the date or manipulate the date or something, you can use this time data for data manipulation purposes. Got it? So in the same way, if you want to check for 2 days or 1 year or anything, no, you simply give the number of days, like number of days there directly. It gives you that future date. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in the same way, if you want the past date, what we'll do, we'll simply minus it off, right? Yeah, past date. So that means by using time delta, you can manipulate the dates and all. See? So it's the previous past date now. Is it clear, guys? Still, do you have any doubts?
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, the output will same as today's date and future dates.
I mean, the format you're asking, right? The format is same, right? So
Yes,
at what
yes.
time you want, na, that time only will be calculated accordingly in the past or in the future. The same format will be there.
Yeah, okay, sir.
So that's how you can use time delta actually. Okay. In the same way, you can
Yes, sir.
manipulate the time as well. So try to give that as an example, like try it out. Okay. It's very easy, only try it out. I've shown you now to how to do with date. You can try it with time and all. Okay. Yeah. I hope
Sir, it's al- sir, it's also possible for calculating 10 years, like multiplying.
multiplying for what? So you need to add only, right? So concatenating the things only will give you the next 10 years date and all. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, yeah, the good guys. So I guess yeah. So we are familiar with the packages now. We are familiar with the data types in Python. We have good knowledge on all the data types. Like we have seen like so many methods present in the data types and all. Yeah, and also we have gone through user-defined packages, how to define packages. Yeah, we'll do the work more. Like once we complete all the sessions and all, no, we'll be working on more programming examples and all. Okay, like printing out the prime. Yeah, so I have given one example of printing out the prime numbers. Have you guys done it?
Uh, I tried it, sir, but syntax, no, sir.
Okay, give it a try today also. So because give it a try today also. Tomorrow I'll check it. Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sir, another doubt, sir. In ISO calendar, sir, what is weekday, sir? Its syntax is equal and weekday, sir. Yeah.
ISO calendar. What is it? Week.
Sir, the real syntax is year, week, and weekday, sir. Yeah, Monday will starts with 1 and Sunday
One.
for
Yeah.
7.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir,
Okay.
in that, sir, weekdays are just confusion, sir.
Acha, weekdays are just confusing. Okay, it's not like that. So start with Monday, na. So they might have given you a good example. Like start with Monday is one, right? One, two,
Yes,
three.
sir.
Okay. See, sometimes no, always you don't get this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday output from the Python directly. Sometimes you get these numbers. You need to convert these numbers into Monday or something. Same thing. See how you are changing the time, manipulating the time and date, na. So by using that ISO calendar thing, you can manipulate. Like you can jump into next 2 days and what is the day, like if you give a date or something. So we have
Yeah.
problems, right, when you in our quantitative approach and all. So like if you get a date, what is the exact day for that? So like that, that's a package where you can get the particular day and all. You can work on it. Okay.
Sir, it's only to know for the particular day. That's it, sir.
Not exactly. So it has many methods. Maybe I've given one example to you,
Yes, sir.
right? I've given one basic example. Just like you check it out, like you can check that ISO calendar thing, because see there are so many millions of packages also. I also can't remember all the package names and all, right? I mean all the module names and all. So you need to study that particular module and need to understand how it is working and all, then you'll get it. It might be useful for various purposes. Yeah, I need to check it once. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So with this, guys, I guess we are good with the basics of Python. So if we have finished basics of Python. So do you have any doubts so far? I mean, I taught only all the basics and introduction part only. But have you got any doubts so far? Okay. So any
Yes.
yeah. Okay. So work on the homework properly. Okay, so from today on, we'll start our advanced Python sessions. Yeah, so the classes and objects, the object-oriented programming structures will come in this from today. Okay, so we'll have an introduction part of our classes and objects today. Okay, how to
Yes, sir.
define a class and how to, I mean, like how to start a class in Python and all. I'll show you now, and then we'll end the class. Okay,
Okay,
so
sir.
what we're going to learn in this advanced Python, like we'll create classes, we'll create objects, we'll instantiate our classes, we'll create instances of our classes. So we'll do, I mean, whatever, like we the classes, the wrappers and all, no? So previously we were defining the logic inside a function, but now we are defining the logic inside a class, inside a neatly arranged wrapper, and then we need to call that. So while calling the function and all, simply you are calling the function name and followed by the parenthesis. And if there are any parameters present in the function, you give those parameters inside that function and you call that function. And if you want to store something, you use the return keyword. And while calling the function, you use a caller. That means a variable will be there. You use that variable and you call that function. Whenever once the function is called, whatever you are returning from that function, it will be stored inside a particular variable. Right? And we have seen different types of parameters available in Python. That Python functions, that is the required parameters, positional parameters, and keyword parameters, and then followed by variable length parameters. So I don't know how many of you have done homework for variable length parameters. I guess no one has done it, right? So variable length parameters also are very important.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let us see like how like what is a class. I'm just going to give you basic definitions of the classes and objects. I know with that, we'll have a clear understanding for today, and then from tomorrow onwards we'll start coding out. Okay, suppose, what do you mean by a class? Can anyone tell me? Like you might have gone through Java or something, and yeah, object is a real-time entity, right? That means whatever the like the ball, car, bat, cricket bat, and all, whatever you're defining it, so those are the objects. So I'll tell you in a practical way so that it will be very easy for you. Yeah, so what do you mean by a class? So class is nothing but a user-defined prototype, user-defined prototype kind of, where you can define a set of attributes. Attributes in the sense you can define methods inside it, you can define parameters inside it. So you can define so many like a set of attributes that characterize any object of the class. Okay, any object in the sense whenever you're passing any object into it now, so any object can that particular method, if the method contains that particular object and all, it considers that method, it considers that object, and it performs well, and inside the class everything does properly, and it gives you the respective output. So the attributes might be data members and methods. That's what I told you. So data members are nothing but the arguments are the parameters, yeah. So what do you mean by a class? Again, I'm telling you, a user-defined prototype for an object that defines a set of attributes and that characterize any object of the class. Okay, again I'm telling you, a user-defined prototype for an object that defines a set of attributes that characterize any object of the class. So the attributes are nothing but the data members. That means it might be it can be variables or it might be methods. Okay, so the functions written inside a class are called as methods. Remember that. The functions written inside a class are called as methods. Okay. Okay, so data member, as we are discussing about data members, so that means the attributes are data members, I am telling you. So what do you mean by these data members in the OOPS concept? So data members are nothing but it might be a class variable or instance variable that holds data associated with a class and its object. Remember, so we'll discuss about this class variable and instance variables also, but remember the definition. So data member is nothing but a class variable or instance variable that holds data associated with a class and its objects. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
And we have different methods of these OOPS concepts. Actually, we have inheritance, we have polymorphism, kind of, right? So inheritance is nothing but getting the characteristics from other classes and all to a new class or to some other class and all, right? Polymorphism is your you can like override the functions and all. I'll tell you like by giving examples and all, but just remember that. Okay. So how you can define like how you can define a class, how you can define a class in Python is by simply typing the class keyword and then followed by some class name. I'll write class name only, class name. That's how you define a class. Okay, so if you don't have a logic, suppose if you don't have a logic, you just define the class and all, and you just want to execute this class without any error, simply give pass. Pass in the sense you don't have any logic. Python will understand that there is no logic there. It just passes out without any error. Okay, in order to call the class, so simply use class name. That's it. So if I execute this, see, it has executed perfectly, and it has shown me that it's a class name at this particular position. It's been stored. It's a position actually. So it's a position in the memory allocation management system. So at this particular memory position, our class name is stored. Clear? That's how we create classes actually. Okay, so then from tomorrow on, we'll discuss more about classes. We'll deal with constructors, we'll deal with objects, we'll deal with instantiations, we'll deal with data members, we'll deal with methods. Yeah, we'll deal with much more. Okay, so till here, remember like the definitions and all, just read about the definitions and all of classes. What is a class? What is an object? What are data members? Like what is a method? So how do you define no need to see how do you define methods inside the class. I'll teach you that, but understand what are methods inside classes. Okay, so what is a constructor? So come up with these definitions by tomorrow's class. Okay, yeah, I
Okay,
just
sir.
we are good with today's class. So come up with these examples by tomorrow. I mean the definitions and all. Okay.
Okay, sir.